Okay. So, some would say that you are your own worst enemy. Some would say, and I say that often, that we are our own worst enemy. And on your spiritual path, or whatever you want to call it, on your path of life, the me is constantly evaluating, constantly comparing, constantly searching, constantly switching, constantly morphing, constantly adding, constantly taking away. And in the spiritual path, it's very popular to start to say, and there's nothing wrong with any of this. First of all, there's nothing wrong with any of this. I'm just setting the stage here. Would say that you're your own worst enemy because love, grace, God, source is right here, right now, right? It's already here. It's already here. Don't have to do anything. Don't have to be anyone. You don't have to try. So one of the things that starts to happen, I'm going to say this again, I'm not saying this is wrong or right, is that we start to say, oh, that tendency to judge people is not good. So I need to take that part of me away. The judgy Max, the judgy Jane has to go away. Okay? The part that's not compassionate enough, that has to start to go away. The part that is the part of me that is hard on myself, that needs to go away too. The part that is lazy, this is more motivational than spiritual, but the part that's lazy, oh, you can't have that part. You listen to any motivational speakers, then you can't have, no lazy. Lazy, bad. So you have to strip that part away. And in fact, if you're not waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning and working your ass off and then you're never going to be successful. So there's that. So you have to strip away the lazy part. Then you have to strip away the judgmental part. Then you have to strip away the confused part. Then you have to, this is a big one, ready? Then you have to strip away the monkey mind part. Oh, that's a big one. You have to strip away the monkey mind part. Because if you don't strip away the monkey mind part, guess what? You're never going to be enlightened. It's not going to happen. So how do I start to strip away that? Now, remember, as I say this, and if you're new here, I'm very sarcastic, but I'm also very clear. I am not saying anything is wrong or anything is right. There's nothing wrong or right. I'm just laying the groundwork here, right? So how do I strip away the monkey mind? Oh, I know. I better meditate. Okay? So I'm going to strip away the monkey mind by adding this thing. Right? And then you go, wait a second. Hold on. Now I have to start to eat a certain way to strip away the monkey mind. Then I have to be more of this, more compassionate and less judgy. It's this constant thing that goes on. And so we're taught constantly by many, many, many teachers, books, the society, that you have to keep stripping away things. And what the story is that eventually, if you strip away enough, I just keep wanting to strip, if you strip away enough, what will happen? What's that called? You will wake up. You will awaken. You'll have a spiritual awakening. Or you will be enlightened. Right? So, enlightening. Right. There is so much to do. There's so much to do. So, first of all, let's pause for a second. I've just talked for 8-9 minutes about this. What's coming up for all of you here about this idea about stripping away? Remember, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm not here to tell you one's right, one's wrong. Ani says the journey. What do you mean the journey? Anyone else? The journey to enlightenment. Right, that's exactly right. The journey to enlightenment, which is very interesting. Anyone else want to say anything? Okay. So, this idea that you have to keep stripping away things is just another idea. It's just another story. It's not a good story. It's not a bad story. We're here, if you're here right now, we're here to illuminate or share or just to contemplate this idea, right? And then I'm going to say something else. Hold on. Mel says, my thoughts are you will be led to where you need to be regardless of all of that. That's interesting. That's cool. That's cool. Cool. Okay, so we've defined this thing about the stripping away of the me. And the stripping of the way of the me, and it could be, listen, it could be enlightenment. It could be, like I said, success. It could be lovable. Could be whatever it happens to be, whatever the goal is. There's always an idea of stripping away of something, right? So you have to let go of the laziness in order to be a harder worker so you can be successful. You have to let go of your judgment of, this is a good one. You have to let go of your, if you're in the dating market, you have to let go of your judgments of how people look so that you can be open to other people. Remember, I'm not saying this is good or bad. I'm just saying that this is the way it is. In order to allow yourself to have a date, because you keep only going for Angela Jolie and Brad Pitt, and when they say, and they're out of your league, and then you're complaining about why. Anyway, see, nothing is good or bad, right? So it's just the way it is. This is what we do. This is what we do. This is what we do. We do this from a very young age, and you subconsciously get all of the messages from your family first, from your culture, from your school, from your community. You get all these subliminal messages about what you need to strip away in order to be, and this is the big one, accepted or become acceptable, right? It's so funny. Last couple of minutes, I'm looking at my other camera and the camera's up there. Anyway, so there's this whole thing. In your family, there's definitely a stripping away. Oh boy, it's immediate. It's immediate in your family. And the other part is, think about this. Everyone in a family has a role to play, subconsciously. And if you are, who knows who decides what your roles are? You might decide your role, or mother might decide what your role is, or whatever. But if you have other qualities or characteristics that don't fit into your role, you better get rid of those. You better get rid of those. And then what ends up happening? You start to be like, oh, I'm supposed to be the caregiver. But inside, there's a big part of you that wants to be the movie star. But you're like, no, that's not the role. So I have to like put that away. And then what happens? You grow up and then you end up resenting your mother because you have stripped away all of your movie star characteristics so that you could be the caregiver, because that's not what you really were. Take a deep breath. So there's all this stripping away going on, right? And then on the other side, there's adding on. There's the adding on part. So I have to become more caring. I have to become nicer. I have to become more magnanimous. I have to become more whatever it happens to be. Less selfish, more community oriented, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, so there's all this stuff. So you're stripping away and then you have to add, right? This is how it works. So there's that. Tell me if in your life you can identify with things that you have had to strip away, that you've had to strip away. Remember, again, I'm going to say it again, it's not wrong and it's not right. In your life, have you had to strip away things? Not good or bad. Nina says she has. Thank you for contributing. Anybody else? Remember, if you're just coming in, my name is Matt Ryan. I'm a facilitator of conversations, so we have conversations here. I talk, definitely, but a conversation is two ways. So if you're able to, or if you feel like it, you can put something in the chat. Tiffany says, only my whole life, everything was bad and needed to be stripped or changed. That makes me think about stripping and changing the bed. Yeah. Are you talking of an awareness of your authentic path? Not sure I follow you there. I'm talking about how the self is created. And the self is created, and then it's torn away at the same time. So we're stripping away all the things we don't like. Why we're doing that is one of the reasons, one of the things I'm going to talk about. Are you addressing the why, Mel? You get what I mean? Okay. So now the second part of this conversation is, and this might, what I'm going to say, you're welcome. This might, I don't know what it's going to do for you. I have no idea. But I'm going to posit something to you that might put all this on its head on some level. So the stripping away of me. The characteristics I don't like, replace them with the ones I do like. The things I don't like, do like, right? Now, I'm going to posit to you that there is no you. You are a conglomeration of ideas and stories and very, very, very specific things that is created, but that's not real. The you isn't even real, right? So the you isn't even real. This is the premise that I'm putting out there, the thesis of this. So the you isn't even real. So, but the you believes it's real. It believes it's with all its heart. I am the caregiver in my house. I am the da 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 da. I am the male. I am the thing. I am whatever it happens to be. I am real. I am real, right? So, but you are not real because there's no real you there. So, but the you is convinced it's real. So if the you is convinced it's real, then it's convinced that the things that it's not, that's the monkey mind. Let's go back to the thing. The monkey mind is real. So the monkey mind has to go because it is in this bubble called Jane, called Mel, called Max. It's in this bubble, but there's no real you there. You, what you believe is you, this gets kind of hard to describe, but what you believe is you, what Max believes is Max, what Jane believes is Jane, is not anything. It's just a series of stories, experiences, and those stories and experiences are in an illusion that's not even real anyway. Take a deep breath. So I'm going to posit to you that trying to strip away the me is just the me trying to do the same thing to the me. But the me lives in a small little universe of its own making that's not even real, right? So everything that we try to do to try to get to be better, to be more, to be less of this, more of that, is just another way of the tiger chasing its tail, of the tiger chasing its tail, of the tiger chasing its tail, over and over and over again. Because if you're honest, you can learn to calm your mind, which is fine, but it's you calming your mind. It's like me saying, I'm going to convince myself I have a hand. You already have a hand. convincing yourself of that over and over. It's like a tiger chasing its tail. So the stripping away of me is only the false self trying to manipulate the false self. Okay, now maybe there's comments. Let's see. Family didn't value creativity. Okay. Blossom says, yes, agree. Philomena says, hold on a second, I want to... personality, a personage, like a montage. Yeah, kind of. It's a whole bunch of things put together to create this thing called Philomena. Gives me a mental picture of a dog trying so hard to be a dog. That's right. The rat race. Mel says the rat race. That's right. If you're new to me, I use that quote all the time. It doesn't matter if you win the rat race because you're still a rat. And that's huge. That's huge. This is what I'm kind of touching on here tonight. Let's see. Glenda. Hello, Glenda. I was taught to strip away my desire to question authority, my emotional sensitivity, my spiritual self, to make my family and society more comfortable in order to be accepted, loved by them. Ended up living a role, false self life, losing connection to my true being under all the stories and conditions they maintain. Very good, Glenda. You just really proved my point. What Glenda said right there is really what all the selves do. And other selves that think they're real are trying to manipulate the other selves to try to get them to be in their universe. It's like playing a role. So it's like they have to play the role so that I can whatever. It doesn't, and this is not malicious, and it is not bad, and it's not good. It's just the way it goes, right? You could be the most kind-hearted, loving person in the world, and when somebody in your life does something that is not in line with who you thought they were, it's not that you judge them, it's like a slap in the face. You're like, oh my God, I never thought that they would do that. Good, bad, or indifferent. It's like, what? Hold on, that doesn't even make sense. It does not compute, right? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. This is how it works. But the self isn't even real. There is no me there. The me is a conglomeration of stories of a whole bunch of images. Right? Holly says, growing up, children should be seen and not heard. Don't show emotion. This is where we start to do that. And we start to, and then we live our life and we build up all these things. Okay, I will be quiet. I will be this. I will be this. And kind of like what Glenda was saying. And then you get to the point in your life, not everybody, will get to the point where like, I don't even know who I am. Who am I? That's why so many spiritual teachers start to tell you, you need to start to ask who you are. Well, and then we're in a whole other dilemma because it's the you asking about who you are. But it's not a bad thing. Nothing is wrong or nothing's right. Nothing's bad. Nothing is good. We're just looking here. We're just having a conversation here, right? So it can be very helpful to be like, I don't even know who I am. That could be helpful in the dream state. In that state, it can be really helpful, for sure. There's no doubt about it. So the reason that I decided to talk about this today is that over and over and over, you're constantly, and even with my private students, there is value in stripping away things. There is value for the me. But there's no real me. Okay, what do you have to say? Blossom says, false identity limits self roller coaster. Tiffany says, it's so much work. Makes my head spin to realize I chased my tail for so long. That's what the me is created for. The me is created for that. That's what it's for. That's how it operates. That's it. Any other comments or questions about this? Right now, I will say that if you feel like you're getting anything from this, then you are welcome to make a donation. I appreciate all donations. Or if you want to know more about me, you can go to maxryan.net, maxryan.net. And my YouTube. I have a ton of YouTube videos. So if you'd like to make a donation, I'd appreciate it. Okay, Alejandro, just tuning in. Oh, Alejandro, it's very difficult because my conversations can be very dense sometimes. So, yeah. Glenn says, so if I get the center of the onion to find nothing, then what's the point? There is no point. Because the only thing that needs a point is the me. There's no point to get. Thank you, Blossom. Remember, we're just facilitating a conversation here. I'm not teaching you anything. That's what I said at the beginning. This isn't a teaching. This is just an exploration. This is a illumination into looking and shifting and saying, hey, is that true? And listen, a lot of people hear this kind of stuff and they're like, first of all, a lot of times people are like, what is going on? I don't understand. Other people are actively like, oh God, this is ridiculous. This is stupid. I'm not doing it, and turn me off, which is fine. It doesn't matter. And other people, this might be kind of cracking open a little thing that you might be going, oh, not sure if I have thought about like that before, right? Just enjoy the experience. Philomena says, I don't think we will human without the me. You don't think we will human or we are human without the me? Is that what that means, Philomena? I think there's a word missing, I think. Mel says, ultimately, we all have a soul awareness of our eternal infiniteness. That's a mouthful. Ultimately, we have a soul awareness of our eternal infiniteness. Now I'm gonna turn on that. But who has the awareness? Because there's no you there. Who has the awareness? B. I don't think we'll be human without the me. Sure, of course you don't, because the me is not going to let go of the me. There are many humans that do not have an association with the me, that don't live in duality. So they're human and they're still okay. They're still walking around, living, doing their thing. So I don't think it has anything to do with being a human. You mean in physical me or in spirit form? I just said that the me is a collection of stories, experiences, the character that's been created. Let me just say this, and if you don't know, I'm a 40-year teacher and student of A Course in Miracles. Course in Miracles, and the body is a teaching tool. You're not a body. And this is the truth. You're not a body. It's like saying you are your car. You're not your car. It's just something that you get into, right? But you're not the body. It's just a car. And he says, this does go deep. Nearly time for bed there. David, where are you? I love that. The body is a teaching tool. England. Awesome. But the body keeps the score. You mean the body registers if you're happy, sad, if you're happy and you know it. Oh my God, I am so stupid. Okay, I know the queen has passed away. I know. She had a good run. No matter what you think. She had a good run. Glenn, what do you mean the body keeps score? I am laughing. One thing that happens in, I don't know, a lot of you know, whatever I'm going through, is that joy happens, freedom happens. If you start to this starts to happen for you, what we're kind of discussing here, which is beyond what can be said, then the joy happens. Fun happens. It's a good book. Okay, I'm just going to wait just a couple minutes, then we're going to wrap up. Because I actually have to. Glenn, are you going to answer? Okay. Okay, everybody. Take a deep breath. Oh, good. Glenn, it holds the energy of experiences and shapes the way we express ourselves. Yes and no, even though that sounds dualistic. It does. It does. I'll definitely go with you on that. It holds emotions. It holds things. It definitely does hold things. There's no doubt about it. But remember the car analogy. So let's just take the car analogy. So the body is the car, right? So the body, if it goes over bumps on the road, the axle's going to get screwed up, or you're going to get a flat tire or whatever. So it picks up things, right? If you go out in the snowy day and you're driving in the car, it's going to start to get cold, and you're going to have to start to use whatever, chains to get through the snow. So that's just like our body, for sure. Now, when you say it shapes the way we experience ourselves, that is if you believe you are the car. But if you know you're not the car, then it doesn't have to shape your experience. Or experience. Experience happens. Does that make sense, Glenn? Enjoy the chats. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. Peeling a huge, huge onion. That can be seen like that. Does that make sense, Glenn? And then I'm going to go. Correct. You are. For Bessel van der Kolk. Is that someone I need to look up? Okay, I will look up that person, but I'm writing it down. I'm a Virgo, so I'm a big reader and researcher and stuff. Van der Kolk. That's a cool name. Okay, I will look that up. Oh, he's the author. Thank you. The Body Keeps Score. Okay. It's a book. There you go. I'll look it up. Okay. Thank you. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you. Give me a thumbs up or one or a yes if you feel like you didn't waste your time, I guess. You're welcome, Nina.